Hi, I'm Chef Scott, and welcome to the first home edition of Sacks in the Kitchen.
Rutabaga, broccoli, green beans, stir-fry sacks in the kitchen. Baste it, bake it, boil it over deep-fried sacks in the kitchen. Chop it, dice it, boil it in a broth. Sacks in the kitchen. Saute, soufflé, simmering in sauce. Sacks in the kitchen. Rutabaga, broccoli, green beans, stir-fry sacks in the kitchen.
So when I'm at home, I cook much more differently than I do when I'm in a commercial kitchen. In fact, I'm in the kitchen of my partner, Chef Craig, and it's a particularly small kitchen. You can see. I have been preparing some food for dinner, and it's all over here. It's still sort of organized, but much less space than I'm used to. And over here, although it has nothing to do with dinner, I had some leftover roasted chicken, so I'm just creating a chicken stock to freeze and to have. But I don't follow recipes at home as much as I do when I'm at work. I'm not looking for any special consistency. This is really where I get to play. So let me show you the ingredients that we happen to have some shrimp at home. Some nice large shrimp. There was a couple of shallots, and there was some peppered bacon, some ciabatta, butter. Here's some lemon juice, half and half, and brandy. And it just was very easy because at home, I'm not thinking about recipes. I think more about technique and how I can put stuff together. So I happen to have in this pan a little bit of the bacon grease left over from when I cooked that peppered bacon. And we're going to first start by putting in these chopped shallots. We're going to let them cook for a moment. Cook. Okay. So my idea is that since we have the shrimp and we have the shallots, and I love shallots, that we were going to just cook the shrimp with the shallots, flambe it in brandy, add in a little half and half, make a really delicious sauce. But while those shallots are cooking, I saw that we had a half an English cucumber left, so I put in a little bit of salt, like a half a teaspoon. This isn't much cucumber, a little bit of salt, a little bit of sugar, and let's add in just a tiny little bit of vinegar. And we're going to just let it sit for a moment, because the way we're cooking the shrimp with the half and half, it's pretty rich. So it's nice to have this tiny little bit of cucumber salad on the side. One other thing though, this ciabatta was in our freezer. And I know like breads like baguettes and ciabattas will of course get hard after a day or two. And we just freeze them. This is what I did. Come over here. I went ahead and thawed the bread a little. I sliced it, I made some garlic butter, and I brushed it on, and I just toasted them in the oven, not till they're too hard, just so that they're able to sop up all of this brandied cream that the shrimp is cooked in. And that's kind of the whole dinner for tonight. We generally have more like one dish meals here. Let's see. Here we go. Great. Let's add the shrimp. I know. It seems like a lot of shrimp, and it really is a lot of shrimp. Yeah. These, of course, cook in almost no time whatsoever. And let's see, the bacon we're going to add in at the last minute since it's already cooked. But oh, come on. There we go. Let's get ready to flambe it in a moment. Go ahead. Let's take a look at the shrimp close up for a moment. Something that I always tell my students is when they want to start flipping things in a pan like this, they should practice with pennies so that when they land on the floor, they know they're not yet ready to flip food. And once you use an old pan, scratched up, practice flipping the pennies. Once you've got it down, then you can start adding food. This is an electric stove. Things are never perfect at home. That's just the way it is. You know, you just have to work with what you have. How many times I've shown up catering where there hasn't even been a sink, and you have to be prepared for that. Let's see. Lighter, brandy or cognac. Let's just give this another moment. Brandy, lighter, or preferably a long match. Chefs have no fear. You know that, don't you? We cut ourselves, we burn others. It's just a way of life. Now that we've done that, I also want to put in a little bit of lemon juice. I don't think we need all that much. And you can see that the brandy is turning into a lovely sauce here with the bacon grease that was in here. Now, let's add back in our bacon. And finally, let's add in some half and half. And we're going to let it simmer for a couple minutes. The reason why we want it to simmer is on a fairly high flame is because we want it to reduce and get a little bit thick. We want the flavors to meld together. I'm going to add no pepper because the bacon was peppered bacon. Let's add a little bit of salt. Just let this cook. It looks pretty good. You can imagine how great it is to take that garlic ciabatta and just dunk it in and sop up all of this really wonderful, creamy, very rich liquid. You could use heavy cream as well. I would not use milk for something like this. Finally, after it reduces, we're going to swirl in a little butter. There is nothing to beat butter at the end of creating a sauce. So I'm actually going to, the shrimp is cooked, but I want the sauce thicker. So I'm going to just put the shrimp into the serving bowls. Awesome. Can you please give me the other serving bowl? Thank you. We'll get back to that one in a minute. All right. Yum. So I can see, and I'm sure you can, that the sauce is getting thicker. But I think what we really want is to add a little more half and half to this, because we want it really saucy, like meat. Almost done. You can see, yes, it's true, I had some stuff prepped. I had the shrimp washed. I had chopped up the shallots. But what are you doing? He's eating the bread. But you can see that the actual cooking of this just takes minutes. This is very much the quintessential line cooking at a restaurant. Everything is right by you. You should not have to move for anything. And everything has been prepared earlier on in the day, so it's very easy for you to put it all together. Lovely sauce. Let's get some butter. I don't want the butter to break, so I'm going to actually lower the heat first, and then we're going to swirl in the butter. Give it a second. There we go. Oh. Take it off the heat for a moment. That way you don't have that direct heat on the butter. It makes it, you can see it's making such a rich, beautiful, beautiful sauce. And you have the shallots in there, and you have the bacon. You could add a little bit of diced tomato if you wanted. This is finished. So now, bring it over. Just put some in each bowl. The next step, of course, here is you need to wipe the sides. Let's take some ciabatta in each. And here we have it. This is a fabulous, fabulous entree. And I hope that you try making it at home. I'm Chef Scott, and thank you so much for watching this week's video. Please subscribe. The button is right there, and I'll see you soon.